Good morning, first graders. We've made it to Friday. To start this Friday, we're going to start another dance party. So let me pull up Kids Bop and we're going to dance for a little bit.
I just took the DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that kid. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got some problems, that's the human in me. Bling, bling, then I saw him, that's the goddess in. You could've had a good friend, not the middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you're holding me back. And that's the sound of me not calling you back. Why you great till you gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend, tell me down and mess along.
All right, friends, I don't think you need to see any more Miss Winkler dancing today, so let's get started. All right, like I said, we've made it to Friday. So we're going to start with our morning greeting. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to choose what you would like. When I say go, you're going to do your morning greeting. Good morning, first grade. Oh, oopsies, I didn't say go. Go. Good morning, first graders. All right, now I want you to take a second to think about how you're feeling today. Maybe you're sad, maybe you're angry, maybe you're excited, or maybe you're calm. When I say go, you're going to point to where you are on the mood meter. Go. Miss Winkler pointed to cheerful. I'm really happy it's Friday and I'm enjoying learning with you. All right, first graders, remember, we do it right or? Very good. We've been working hard all week. Let's not stop today. All right, let's read our morning message. Good morning, friends. Today is Friday, April 24th, 2020. It is almost the weekend. What are you excited to do this weekend? Miss Winkler is excited to cook and sleep. Let's have a great day. Love, Miss Winkler. All right, friends, so I'm excited to cook and sleep this weekend. When I say go, I want you to tell your computer what you're excited to do this weekend. Go. Awesome job. All right, so remember this morning, you were supposed to have breakfast so that your brain has the energy to learn. Then you were checking Canvas to see what you're supposed to do today. If you're in Team 1, you've already gotten to meet with me. Now you're watching a reading video. Then you're going to take a break for lunch and specials. And then if you're in Teams 2, 3, and 4, you're going to work with me this afternoon. The last thing you need to do is Path Blazer. All right, let's talk about what we're learning today. We are going to get to read our fairy tale. This is our very last fairy tale, Jack and the Beanstalk. Then you're going to get to do a writing activity where you write a sentence about what happens in Jack and the Beanstalk. Now, let's read our I can statement so you know exactly what you're listening for today. I can describe what happens to Jack the second time he visits the giant. I can explain how the story ends. So you're going to listen for what happens to Jack, and then you're going to be able to tell us how the story ends. Now, remember the last time we were with Jack and the Beanstalk, he climbed up the stalk. He was super duper hungry, and he asked this big woman for food. And the big woman said no at first because there was a giant who really likes to eat little boys like Jack. Then the big lady said yes. And everything was going good. Jack was enjoying his bread and his cheese and his milk. And then the giant started coming out and the story ended. So right now we know that Jack is still at his house and we've got to figure out what happens to Jack. Let's start reading. Goodness gracious, it's my husband, said the giant's wife. What on earth shall I do? Quick, jump in here. And Jack jumped into the oven just as the giant came. He was a big one, to be sure. He had 3 cows tied to his belt, and he threw them down on the table and said rudely to his wife, Here, wife, cook me a couple of these for breakfast. But wait, what's this I smell? Repeat after me. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Now, dear, said his wife, it's nothing but the leftover smell of that little boy you had for dinner yesterday. Go along and wash up, and by the time you come back, I'll have breakfast ready. So the giant went off, and Jack was about to jump out of the oven when the woman whispered, Wait till he's asleep. He always naps after breakfast. The giant gulped down his breakfast, which means to eat it really quickly. Then he went to the giant chest and took out 2 big bags. He sat down, and from the bags he took out the piles of gold coins. He began counting them very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then his head began to nod. And soon he began to snore, and so that whole house shook. Jack crept out of the oven, tiptoed past the giant, grabbed one of the bags of gold which he could barely lift, and ran lickety-split back to the beanstalk. Uh-oh, did Jack ask for permission to get the gold? Boys and girls, that's called stealing. Stealing is not a good idea. He threw down the bag of gold, which fell kerplunk into his mother's garden, and then he climbed down until he had reached the ground. Well, mother, he said, wasn't I right about the beans? They really are magic. For a while, Jack and his mother bought what they needed and a little more with the bag of gold. But at last the bag was empty, so Jack made up his mind to try his luck again at the top of the beanstalk. He climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed, and once again, sure enough, there was the great, tall woman standing at the doorstep. And once again, he asked for something to eat. All right, this is time number 2, visiting the giant. Remember, you're supposed to listen for what happens. Go away, boy, said the woman, or else my husband will eat you for breakfast. But say, aren't you the youngster who came here once before? Do you know on that very same day, my husband lost one of his bags of gold? Did he now, said Jack. How very strange. Maybe I could help you find it, but I'm so hungry that first I must have something to eat. So the great tall woman gave him something to eat, but he had hardly taken a bite when thump, 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 they heard the giant's footsteps, and once again the wife hid Jack in the oven. It's all happened as it had before. In came the bellowing, fee, fi, fo, fum. Then after gulping down 3 broiled oxen for breakfast, the giant said, Wife, bring me my hen and my golden harp. The wife brought them, and the giant looked at the hen and barked, Lay, and then the hen laid an egg, all of gold. Then the giant looked at the gold harp and said, Sing, and the gold harp sang beautifully, and it went on singing until the giant fell asleep and started snoring like thunder. Jack sneaked out of the oven and crept like a mouse on his hands and his knees. Then he crawled up at the table, grabbed the hen and the golden harp, and dashed to the door. But when the hen began to cluck, the harp called out, Master, Master! The giant woke up just in time to see Jack running away with his treasures. Boys and girls, this is the second time Jack has stolen. He's not making smart first grade choices. Jack ran as fast as he could, and the giant came bounding after him and would have caught him, only Jack had a head start. When Jack got to the beanstalk, he climbed down as fast as he could. The giant reached the beanstalk and stopped short. He didn't like the idea of climbing down such a ladder, but like it or not, the giant swung himself down the beanstalk, which shook with his weight. By the time Jack had climbed down and reached Mother, he cried, Give me an axe and hurry! his mother came rushing out with an axe. She ran with Jack to the beanstalk, and then he screamed with fright as she saw the giant man making his way down. Jack swung the ox and gave it a chop at the beanstalk. The giant fell from the beanstalk, and he stopped to see what was the matter. Jack gave another chop, and another, and the beanstalk began to topple over. Then the giant fell down, broke his crown, and the beanstalk came tumbling after. From then on, Jack and his mother had all the money and the music they wanted, for the hen gave them golden eggs, and the harp sang for them all day long. And they lived happily ever after. The end. All right, first grade, I want to pause, because even though Jack and his mom lived happily ever after, he didn't make smart first grade choices. He chose to steal twice and take things that weren't his. So I want you to know that sometimes it might seem like it's okay to do things that aren't right, but eventually there will be a consequence for your actions. Remember, every choice, good or bad, has a consequence. All right, let's talk about our word today. Our word is rudely. Everyone say rudely. Like you see in the picture, being rudely is being mean and saying not kind words. No one in my class is rudely. Our second word is politely. Everyone say politely. Politely is when you use your manners and you talk in a nice tone. So when I have friends asking please and thank you when they want to borrow things of mine, or when I give them snack, that's being polite. And I know my first graders are always using polite words and being politely. All right, first graders, the final thing we need to do today is our writing. When I say go, you're going to grab your writing pad and start a new page, writing your name and date at the top. Go. Now that you have your writing pad, the first thing you need to do is write your name and your date. If you need more time to do this, go ahead and hit pause. All right, now that you have your name and date, we're ready for step 2. Let's read the sentence that you're going to finish today. I read, then you read. In Jack and the Beanstalk, blank. You're going to copy down the sentence stem, and then step 3 is to finish the sentence. Now, if you are able to write more than one sentence and you know who you are, you need to write another sentence about what happens in Jack and the Beanstalk. When you finish writing your sentences, you need to draw a picture. So, step 1, name and date. Step 2, write your sentence stem. Step 3, finish your sentence. Step 4, write another sentence if you can. And step 5, draw a picture. When you have finished all of this, I need you to send me a picture of your hard work. All right, friends, you have worked so hard this week. Take a break this weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, friends.